Greetings, everyone. This is me again, Zahra Bazak. Come to help the Muslims leave Islam. Again, so going to my notes, the topic is Islam does not stand for humanity. Proof from Quran. And why ex-Muslims should talk against Islam. So to show you how deceived you Muslims have been, right? If you think that Islam stands for humanity or anything of that sort. No compulsion in religion. I've done on that and proven that there is compulsion, force to convert people through Quran ayats. Now here we are. What does humanity mean? Humanity means collective humans and showing kindness to one another regardless of their differences in belief, culture, race, creed, etc. Right? This is what humanity means. So Islam says, or Muslims say Islam, it stands for humanity. Islam stands for humanity, but does it? So we have some ayats which could make us think that Islam stands for humanity. Surah 4, Ayat 1, asking one another. So fear God who made you from one soul, created you from one soul, that you ask one another and you are of one another and this and that. So you can check Surah 4, Ayat 1 properly. And Surah 49, Ayat 13. I'm not giving you the surahs here, all of them, like complete surahs, complete ayats, of the surahs. So this 13, Surah 49, Ayat 13 says to get to know one another. So this is why you've been created through one soul or something like that. Humanity, oh humanity, right? So it appeals to mankind or humanity, these ayats. And then another one says, it's in Surah Maida 5, ayat 32, Bani Israel. It's for the Bani Israel. So it was not for the Muslims. Things have been, the ayats, they've been abrogated, things like that. So, it's not for the believers now, I think. This ayat should have been abrogated. Anyhow, you can take it as well for the Muslim believers of Allah, Prophet Muhammad, how shall we say it? So another thing is fear in Islam, Quran ayats. So there's fear also cast on you, you feel that you feel fear. That's why you have to believe in this. You are, made to fear in Islam. So those Quran ayats where Khizr killed a boy in Surah Kaf, ayat 80. Okay, and makes husband discipline a wife, fear of her disobedience to him. Surah Nisa 34, that makes disbelievers convert to Islam. Ahl Kitab, Jews and Christians, before we obliterate your faces. Surah 4, Ayat 47, then we have the killing of the polytheists if they don't embrace Islam. Surah 9, Ayat 5, then we have fight disbelievers. You have spared. Surah 9, Ayat 1, 2, 3, although all of them are, your near neighbors or your near ones or someone living near you. But I say whom you have spared. So that's Surah 9, Ayat 1, 2, 3, fight the disbelievers. But fear or taqwa, mindful of Allah, being mindful of Allah, you see, didn't make Zaid keep his wife. Surah 33, Ayat 37. So there's a contradiction of some sort here, or a crookedness in the ayats. Against Surah Kaf ayat, there is no crookedness in this. So Prophet Muhammad tells Zaid, to fear Allah or have taqwa of Allah and keep his wife. So that didn't work. That's it should have worked according to what the believers are supposed to do. Obey Allah and the Messenger. So now unjust ayats against loving polytheists. Surah 29, ayat 25 says, he said, you have taken up idols instead of Allah, okay? Instead of Allah, not with Allah, but instead of Allah as bond of love among yourselves in the present life. But on the day of resurrection you will disown and curse one another. Your refuge shall be the fire, and none will come to your aid. So this is how harsh God is with the polytheists, loving one another. And love is, like I told you about this ayat in my previous live streams, mawadat. Now, mawadat is a name of Allah, an attribute of Allah. It comes from wadud. Ya wadudo, the zikr we do. It's a name of Allah. Loving kindness, I think. So, footnote 2 is very helpful in Quran.com. Abul Ala Maududi. This is Abul Ala Maududi's translation of Quran, Surah 29, ayat 25. And then the footnote number 2 of this, the bond of love among yourselves, you polytheists, meaning, those who take besides Allah idols, idol worshippers. That is, you have built up your collective life on the foundation of idol worship instead of God worship. This can keep you bound together as a nation. This can keep you bound together as a nation, noteworthy. Only to the extent of mundane life. This is ridiculous. For here in this world, people can get together around any creed, true or false, any kind of agreement or concord on any belief. Out of fear also or deception, cult leaders can do this to you. Okay, but lovingly first and then controlling you. However wrong and ill conceived, can become a means of the establishment of mutual friendships. Kinships can become a means of the establishment of mutual friendships, kinships, brotherhoods, and all other religious, social, cultural, economic, and political relationships. So this is helpful, right? They succeed. It's out of love. It's mu'adat. And you know that very well in the previous live streams. Without Allah, there can be no love between you. Without Allah saying that if you believe and do good deeds, like in Surah Maryam, it is said, the gracious Ar-Rahman creates love between you. So if you believe and do good deeds. So without Allah, this is not possible. Then how was it possible here between the polytheists who took idols apart from Allah? So they were loving at least, and yet this kind of love was rejected amongst themselves. They were united, collectively establishing a mutual friendship, kinship, brotherhood, all this culturally, socially, religiously, economically, politically. They succeeded. And love being more than life, larger than life, it cannot be what God has said here, what Abraham has said here, and God has put here, Allah has put here as in the present life. Love goes beyond the present life. Like Hafiz has said, love comes from the infinite and remains. The seeker of love transcends space and time. He who is not in love will fail, not pass the test on resurrection day. When resurrection comes, sorry, I forgot that part. He who is not in love will fail, not pass the test. So if even then if you're not convinced. But, mawadat comes from wadud, so they have an attribute of God where they love each other in that way. Collective unity, in progress, in good will, in every way. So that is really good in this. But they are told that what a punishment, they are cursed, they'll be, no, on the day of resurrection you will disown and curse one another. Hello, Prabhu Deva. How are you? I see you for the first time here. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So back here. Your refuge shall be the fire, and none shall come to your aid. You will not have any help. Then unjust ayats against polytheists not equal. So what is not equal? In Surah Tawbah, 9th chapter of the Quran, 19 verse, ayat. Do you consider providing water to the pilgrims and tending the sacred mosque equal in word to believing in Allah and the last day and striving in the cause of Allah? The two are not equal with Allah. Allah does not direct the wrongdoing, meaning zalimeen, folk to the right way. Excuse me. So they're considered wrongdoers, zalimeen. Moreover, providing water to the pilgrims is unacceptable. Humanity is here, but you don't see it. You're told this is not right. So what would be your definition of humanity? And is it enough? Is it good? Islam does not stand for humanity. So what does mercy mean or does? Now we go to mercy. Mercy saves you from Allah's wrath. Tafsirs of ayats, right, on mercy. You can see the Sunni tafsirs also. Allah has inscribed mercy on himself, Surah 6, ayat 12 and Surah 6, ayat 54. He's inscribed mercy on himself. Kataba means inscribed. Yet no mercy in Surah Tawbah for polytheists. Oh, you will say they did this and they did that, but killing of the polytheists ruthlessly. So in Surah Azab, ayat 61 also, yet no mercy in Surah Tawbah for polytheists. Remember I told you there were other reasons why they should not remain at the Kaaba, near the Kaaba, or in Makkah. And they will be killed because they're najis, they're unclean, impure. And those who even kept the treaty would be killed. A time period was given to them, and when the treaty ends, at the end of the term of the treaty, find them, kill them, and all this. Prabhu Deva says Abraham broke 360 idols in Kaaba. How did those people feel whose gods got demolished? Well, they felt very angry. There's an ayat in the Quran and they wanted to also burn him and all this. But I'm not going there right now, right? Because then the Muslims would say, well, they burnt him. But Allah saved them. Yeah, so it's right if Abraham, these are false gods, the Muslims would say. So they burnt. How would the people who believed? Well, they must be very heartbroken, angry. That's why they burnt him. And then Allah saved him. But you see, the reasons Allah gives in the Quran are that these false idols, this is nijasa, this is impure. They're lying to you. You will never succeed. You will be in the fire of hell. The jealous God, only believe in one God, this, that. So yeah, it's a long argument. We can sit and talk about this, go on forever. But will this have anything? I mean, Muslims don't feel for this, right? So this is the thing. Is there anything else you would like to, like, how can we convince the Muslims that this is wrong to do this? Break idols. I've been trying to show them, Prabhuji. Were there 360 idols in the Quran, or how many there were? It's just, yeah, so they can do this. Abraham can break idols, lie, and say the chief did it, and all this. This is right. Because you see, the idols are false, and this is like too stupid. They're foolish, they're stupid to believe in these idols worshipping stones and all, who don't even speak. The reasons Abraham has given to the Muslims, and to his father and to his people. I think Abraham left one idol intact, the main idol. Yes, he did. He kept the chief idol intact. And he put his axe on the idol's shoulder. Oh, okay, yeah. And said, if you ask him. But they found out that it was Abraham who did this. Right? So, yeah, you're right. He left one idol, chief. It's in the Quran ayat. Excuse me. So, and in Surah Ahzab 61, for hypocrites, in whose hearts is a disease and rumor mongers, killed without mercy. Yusuf Ali's translation of this ayat, qutila, qutilu, whatever the Arabic words are, double, like kill, kill again. Like, what does it mean? It means kill them completely, like put them to, like, kill them with a terrible killing. Maybe it's like that, the Arabic meaning. So why would you kill the hypocrites and those in whose hearts is a disease and rumor mongers when they're not after you? But you have your reasons. Muslims have their reasons. So killing like this is not humane. It's not even in the mercy, because Allah's mercy, overrides his wrath, like goes over his wrath. What word shall I use? I've just risen. It seems like I had a terrible headache and all this, but still I managed to make these notes. Please bear with me. I may not be using words properly, making mistakes. But overall, I think this is, I'm showing you the truth from the Quran ayahs to help the Muslims leave and see for themselves when you do your own. So I'm helping you, giving you the guidelines and all, even sometimes, in detail, but you do your own research, right? Please do your own research and see for yourself. Rethink and think. Keep yourself open to what I'm saying, and then look at it from all sides. Fear Allah for the ties, right? So here comes Surah Nisa ayat 1. O mankind, be mindful of your Lord. Meaning, here it says, like, be conscious, mindful of your Lord. Taqwa, have taqwa. It's a kind of a fear, but it's like less than fear, definitely. Who created you from a single self and created from it its spouse, and from them both spread many men and women. Thus be mindful of Allah, in whose name you ask one another, and of the wombs. Indeed, Allah has always been watchful over you. So, you say this is humanitarian. Be mindful of the ties. Right? Footnote 2. Thanks to Fadl Solomon Bridges' translation. Footnote 2 says the term wombs is usually used in the Quran as a metaphor for blood relatives, meaning honor the ties of kinship. Now, yet sever ties from disbelievers. You see? So that's in Surah 9, ayat 23. Surah 9, ayat 23 and Surah 58, ayat 22. Sever ties from the disbelievers. No love, no kindness for the disbelievers. Right? Against polytheists, again, who want to get nearness to Allah, Surah Zumar, ayat 3, it's wrong. If they worship these awliyas to get nearness to Allah, again God says they are zalimeen, and it's wrong. Allah will decide. Or something. Yeah, I think Allah will decide about that. It's wrong. But are you getting near to Allah? Okay, kurbatan ilallah, we say getting nearness to Allah. I'm doing this, I'm praying 5 times a day when I start my prayer. I make an intention, right? But look at this. Abraham was an Ummah nation. Surah 16, ayat 120. Upright. He was not a polytheist. Right. Allah guided him and he went to Allah. He went to Allah. He said, I'm going to Allah. I'm going to my Lord. There's an ayat there. Allah showed him his power of the heavens and the earth, the glories or whatever. In the Quran ayat, right? Now his people follow Abraham, not knowing much about Allah, but asked to be steadfast in belief in one Allah. So, like again, Surah Zumar ayat 3, the polytheists who worship their awliyas, it says that way. It's put that way. But want to go have a nearness to Allah, right? So don't you think you followers of Abraham are in blind belief? Whereas Abraham was shown and assured by Allah, but not his followers. So you are not shown like Abraham was. Shouldn't you be saying, oh Allah, tell us how you give life to the dead? Like Abraham did in the Quran ayat. It's stated. And Allah showed him. When Abraham says to his people, I'm going to Allah. So this, it's wrong, right? Against the polytheists in Surah Zumar ayat 3. They're also seeking nearness to Allah by worshipping these people. Awliyas, they call. And then, let's see, Surah 7 ayat 62 says, I'm delivering my Lord's message to you and giving you sincere advice. I know things from God that you do not know. That you do not. Now this is Hud or another prophet, most probably Hud, I think. So this is in Surah Araf ayat 62. He tells these polytheists and those who don't believe in his one God that I'm delivering my Lord's message to you. Now who's delivering it? The prophet is, the messenger, and giving you sincere advice. But is that enough? No, because he says, I know things from God that you do not know. So I'm delivering you the message. Now, couldn't it be the same style as the polytheists would be doing through their awliyas, or they don't call their awliyas as messengers of Allah or prophets of Allah, but some other. It's the same thing, right? Like Sri Krishna was giving the message to Arjun in Gita, Bhagavad Gita. But he says, I'm I know and you don't know, and I'm delivering that message to you. So these are the guides. Yet, like the book also, this message, is it sufficient for you? Let's see. They guide you with revelations given to them, or a book, and a book cannot be sufficient as signs. or evidences of the existence of Allah or one God. Shouldn't each one of you be assured, like Abraham, when he asked God how he gives life to the dead? I already said this, but my notes have come here. Quran ayahs, right? So think about these things. Someone who can show you God's existence, bring God to you, or take you to God, like Abraham went, like Prophet Muhammad did. Mi'raj. In Surah Najm we're told, and in Surah Isra, he went from one mosque to another, a sacred place to another. So that's not enough. They should have taken you. Abraham says, I'm going to God. Say, I'll take you all. Come with me. Follow me. Like a Prophet Muhammad says, follow me if you love Allah. Let's see where you all go. Right, Muslims? Following Prophet Muhammad. See where you go. Prophet Muhammad cannot guide whom he loves, but Allah guides whom he wills. Surah 28, Ayat 56. Now what happens is, this ayat makes you think Prophet Muhammad loves the misguided, but they don't love him. Or they can't be guided. Okay. But makes you think that Prophet Muhammad loves them and they are the misguided, and he still loves them because they're his family members, kins, people, tribes, and all this, kinsfolk. Okay, let's go a little bit away from this and look at this, right? Surah Tahrim ayahs. And the two wives annoyed him because they didn't love him and they were bad. Like according to the Shias, he couldn't guide these wives, although he loved them, but they were bad. And according to Surah Tahrim too, they weren't even Muslims. God says later that I can replace you with Muslims. Annoying him is becoming a kafir, a disbeliever after believing. So, big punishment for them. So how do I take this verse for you? To show you something here. Then follow me if you love Allah. Allah will love you and forgive you your sins. Surah 3, Ayat 31. Polytheists can say the same thing, right? To their people. Because they do believe in Allah, as you've seen in the Quran ayats. I've shown you in the previous ayats, and there are Quran ayats, where they say this is, we believe in Allah. No, they say that this is the good that comes is from Allah, but the bad omen that has come is from you, O Prophet. Meaning. So this means some of the polytheists did believe in Allah of his time. Wives followed him until something they saw in him that was not according to the covenant of Allah. I think I've done this in my previous live stream. Although Allah warns, showing you how how Prophet Muhammad broke the covenant of Allah. Although Allah warns his wives in Surah Tahrim, he prohibits the Prophet from marrying or taking women, any other women now, in marriage somehow, anyone, or exchanging them. But what his right hands possess, only what his right hands possess, he is allowed to take them. Surah 33, Ayat 52. And it's also about attraction, even if the beauty were to stun you. Now, let's see. God is now pleased with Prophet Muhammad's wives to prohibit Prophet from taking women in marriage for them. As we find in Sunni tafsir, no reason for this prohibition given in Shia tafsir. I checked only the multilingual Quran and no other side of the Shia. I didn't find any reason why Prophet Muhammad was prohibited now to take women as wives. Okay? But only what his right hands possess. The Sunni tafsir say he was pleased with Prophet Muhammad's wives. They stayed with him, so he was prohibited. Now, so where am I going, taking you? Some, like, it's not, doesn't fall into place, things that are not falling into place. Okay? Don't break the covenant you've made with Allah. Those who do become hard-hearted and hypocrites. Just bear with me, in the end you'll understand. Quran ayahs. Maybe Prophet Muhammad broke the covenant, which I showed you in one of an old live stream, or I uploaded, about the Surah Tahrim and all, a video. So let's see. So what happened? I've taken a turn now, because I don't have to explain all this anymore with the covenant breaking, and it's not that his wives didn't love him to follow him, but he broke a covenant. He broke a covenant in Surah Tahrim. Although the Muslims won't say that. Okay, then I came to breaking the covenant. You will say, oh, the Jews did it by killing of the prophets without right, for the breaking of the covenant and their disbelief in the signs of Allah. Jews, first of all, didn't kill their own prophets. Right? We are told the Jezebel did, who was a worshipper of some other god. Jews themselves didn't kill their prophets. This wrong, but this is not the point here. The point here is what happens when you break a covenant. Your heart hardens. So let's read Surah 5, ayat 13. So for their breaking of the covenant, we cursed them and we made their hearts hard. Actually, so Prophet Muhammad's heart became hard, and he started to kill polytheists. And in Surah Tawbah doesn't start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. God is all merciful, the beneficent, the merciful, like that. That also, right? And killing of the hypocrites and all in Surah Azab. So for their breaking the covenant, we cursed them and we made their hearts hard. They distort the words from their places. I think Prophet Muhammad has distorted this. Like he's lied about the whole Quran, maybe taking it here and there, from here and there, where the Jews and the Christians and the polytheists were having a discourse like this. And they were at that time very poetic and all. Highly poetic. And forgot a part of what they were reminded of, and not you will cease to discover of treachery from them, except a few of them. But forgive them and overlook. Right? Here it says forgive them and overlook. Whoever broke the covenant, cursed they are. But in other areas, in other Quran ayats, it says kill them. Kill the hypocrites, kill those who are hearts are diseased. Right? And another thing I found, how can Prophet Muhammad love those kins people and all? When Allah, it says that in the end of Surah Ma'idah 13, indeed Allah loves the good doers. Mahsaneen. It's hub. The same word used for a prophet. You cannot guide those whom you love in that ayat, right? So what happens? How can Prophet Muhammad love those kinspeople who, Allah loves the good doers. When Allah loves the good doers, Mahsaneen only. You'll say, oh, it's not given that Allah hates the polytheists or the disbelievers. Okay, let's work this out. I worked it out. Let's see if you agree to this or not. So I just took Surah 4, ayat 155 to tell you that, okay, yeah, breaking of the covenants, the Jews did, or the Christians, and there's God sealed their hearts and all this, killing of the prophets without right. But here I'm showing you about Prophet Muhammad. Indeed, Allah loves the good doers. This is the important point in Surah Ma'idah 13. So I did this for the Jews. Leave that alone. I've seen this. So if it ever, when you're doing your research and if this comes in your mind, you can know that I haven't left this out. But why to leave this Surah 4 Ayat 155 out is because I found a contradiction here. So forget explaining. So I'll leave. So Muslims would think Jews did this to their own prophets, but they didn't. I won't be showing you how Prophet Muhammad broke the covenant for now and go to the contradiction in this made me jump and go to the contradiction in Surah 5 Ayah 13, the last part. Indeed, Allah loves the good doers. And in Surah 28 Ayat 56 where it says, Muhammad, you love them, meaning Prophet Muhammad, you love them, but you can't guide those whom you love. Right? You can't guide whom you love. Allah guides whom He wills. Surah 28, Ayat 56. So there is a contradiction between Prophet Muhammad loving misguided people and Allah loving the good doers. So how should it, you see there how clever he makes you think that Prophet Muhammad loves his kinsfolk, everyone, and until, that the message of God came. So when he was telling them, he was appealing to their kinship with them and his relationship with the tribes and all this. See how clever he was in doing that. But I caught him here. Indeed, Allah loves the good doers. But when they rejected the message, okay, so you would say that ayat says, since Prophet Muhammad loved his kinspeople, and when the message came to him, he started to preach to them. Then when they rejected it, then he can't love them, right? Because Allah loves the good doers. But I don't think that ayat should be put like that. Surah 28, ayat 56 comes. O Prophet, you cannot grant guidance to whom you love. It's not please, it's hub. Okay, so the translation of Abul Ala Maududi is wrong too, I think. Yeah, Abul Ala Maududi, because footnote I had to take is, it is Allah who guides those whom He wills. You see, that's why they put please, whom you please, who you would like to be guided, whom you would please to be guided, but not love. You see, it's people, the translators are changing the word. Reason being that could be that indeed Allah loves the good doers, Muhsineen. But you would say, before he preached the message, or as he was preaching the message, he was telling them that I love you. That's why. And then when they were misguided, because Allah loves the Muhsineen, so Prophet Muhammad had to withdraw his love from them. But look at this. There's another thing. The footnote is on the Christians for, O Muhammad, you wish that your clansmen and your kinsfolk and your near and dear ones should benefit from this life-giving nectar, but your willing alone cannot avail. Willing, loving, to give guidance is the power of Allah. And all this, right? So better translation of this ayat is, indeed you cannot guide whom you love, but Allah guides whom He wills. And He knows better of those who are guided. Whatever you may say, let's see. Surely Allah loves those who do good deeds. Muhsineen, Surah 5, Ayat 13. This last part is important. Allahu yuhibbu. Allah yuhibbu al-muhsineen. Right? loves the good doers. Already Allah has warned Noah, about his disbelieving son. So Prophet Muhammad should know. How can Prophet Muhammad love the misguided? Even his kinsfolk, as he was trying to guide them, and they were rejecting his guidance. As he was trying to guide them, and they were rejecting his guidance. Because there's been a warning before. You know, when in Surah 11, ayat 46, in response, Noah was told, most certainly he is not of your family, your son, who betook himself to the mountain. Most certainly he, your son, is not of your family. Verily he is of unrighteous conduct. So do not ask of me for that concerning which you have no knowledge. How about his son, God is telling him? Noah. I admonish you, meaning I warn you, never to act like the ignorant ones. And Prophet Muhammad loves his kinsfolk and this and that, and it grieves him. You will grieve yourself to death also. I admonish you, Allah warns him. Hazrat Noah, never to act like the ignorant ones. Moreover, we have here an ayat, Surah 18, ayat 6. Now perhaps you, O Prophet, will grieve yourself to death over their denial, rejection, if they continue to disbelieve in this message. What a stupid thing to say now. You got it? See it here. Very, very important. How can Prophet Muhammad grieve? I mean, you're being told that he'll grieve himself to death. Oh Lord, Prophet, Mata. Shias are going to, oh, our Prophet was so great, greater, greater than Musa, greater than this, greater than Musa. But Allah tells Musa, no, do not grieve. No. Don't even question me about your son, for which you have no knowledge of. Your son has gone. He's drowned in the water. He betook himself on the mountain. That's it. He's gone. And he's not of your family. Most certainly your son, meaning he is not of your family. Verily he is of the unrighteous conduct. Now shouldn't Prophet Muhammad be aware of this? This is coming on whom? Not pages coming from the sky. It's in the heart of Prophet Muhammad. The trusted spirit brought it. Right? So Prophet Muhammad should know better than anyone else to love these people whom he is going to preach. And then feel so grieved, like to death. Oh Prophet, will you grieve yourself to death over their denial? Like it's showing that, the Prophet can grieve himself to death, but they will not believe. Surah Ankabut. If they continue to disbelieve in this message. I think it's Surah Ankabut too. So now this is addressed to the Prophet. And maybe that is addressed to the general Muslims and us. Like you will grieve yourself to death, they will not believe. But now how come God is saying this to the Prophet? Doesn't know not to grieve himself to death? Crying, feeling so sad, grieving. When Nuh already has been told, God tells him, so do not ask of me for that, saving your son, concerning which you have no knowledge. The Prophet Muhammad also didn't have knowledge, but this has already come on Prophet Muhammad's heart by the trusted spirit. He should know better than anyone else. Not to love them, not to know that, but God is showing, he loves you. But he cannot guide you, all of you he loves. That's wrong, isn't it? Bringing this ayat also, Surah 11, ayat 46. I admonish you never to act like the ignorant ones. Like he does, Allah is telling him not even to grieve, maybe, for your son. It's like this, you know? Don't even pray. Like, don't say, oh God, save my son. Forget it. It's like altogether forget your son. He's not of your family. The family link, disowned. Link has been broken. Not to even grieve. This would is like alluding to or showing that Noah should not even be grieving for his son. So why Surah 18, ayat 6, now perhaps you, O Prophet, will grieve yourself to death over the denial. Oh, such a kind-hearted, so soft-hearted, merciful Prophet, grieving himself. He would grieve himself to death, but Allah consoles him not to do it. Perhaps you will, if they disbelieve in this message. You see how you have been deceived. So it should have been Allah, what the ayat here, and that ayat that those he loves, everyone, whoever he loves, he cannot guide. Prophet Muhammad cannot guide. It should have been Allah or Prophet Muhammad wants good for you, like another prophet said, or Allah wants to have mercy on you. So like one of the prophets said in Surah 40, ayat 42, you call me to disbelief in God and to associate with him things of which I have no knowledge. I call you to the mighty, the forgiving one, and the one and only God. Another ayat. Surah 7, ayat 63. Are you amazed that a reminder has come to you from your Lord upon a man from among you to warn you, and that you might be mindful of God, meaning, and that you may receive mercy. So before even getting this ayat, I forgot, Surah Araf, ayat 63, that you may have mercy, that you may receive mercy from Allah, right? Because your souls are not guided. And how will you be forgiven? So that you believe in Allah, this one who will forgive you your sins and have mercy on you. I wrote this. So how should that ayat have been? It should have been that Allah or Prophet Muhammad, both wants good for you, like another prophet said. Or Allah or Prophet Muhammad would have said, Allah wants to have mercy on you. It's not about my loving you or this and that. Forget that. That'll be severed. Ties will be severed. Be stern with the disbelievers. What kind of a prophet? Like, you see how this thing has deceived you. How this Quran is also you. No one has sat with you to comb it out like this and show you how you have been deceived. Another contradiction. Bear with me. I know I'm fast for some of you who may be in a shock. Another contradiction has come. So this. Surah 2, ayat 165. Yet there are some who take others as equals to Allah and love them as Allah alone should be loved. But those who truly believe, they love Allah more than all else. If only the wrongdoers were to perceive now as they will perceive when they will see the chastisement, that all power belongs to Allah alone. They're only loving someone, right? They're taking equals to Allah and loving them. This is such a thing for chastisement, that all power belongs to Allah alone. What a jealous God. and that Allah, and possessive, and Allah is severe in His chastisement. Like, I'm the sovereign God, I'm the one and only God. How come you're taking other gods? You would say, oh, this is better for humanity, right? This is the haqq, this is the truth. But it is not like that, you see. It is not like that, the way you have been shown and made to believe, like in this, against the polytheists, against anyone else. Footnote 2. True faith requires that a man should give absolute priority to seeking God's good pleasure and should hold nothing too dear to sacrifice for the sake of God. Then how come? This I've done before also, but since the polytheist thing came in, I brought the contradiction back to show you. Surah Tawbah 24. Say, in case your fathers and your sons and your brethren and your spouses and your kinsmen and riches that you have scored and commerce whose slackening you are apprehensive of, and dwellings you are satisfied with, in case these are more, no, not more, just beloved to you than Allah, more beloved, or as beloved to you, I don't know, maybe not more, but as dear to you than Allah, and not only Allah, you see here it's only Allah for against the polytheists. Surah 2 ayat 165. Okay, equals as to Allah, but they should be loved. But those who truly believe, they love Allah more than all else, right? So maybe it is more beloved, but it doesn't make a difference here about the contradiction between Surah 2 165 and Surah 2 ayat 165 and Surah 9 ayat 24. You see, Prophet Muhammad, okay, Allah is mentioned first, but this is in the same footing, like you can't make a difference. Whom you should love, Allah, His Messenger, or striving in His way. All three conditions should be there. You should love. They should be more beloved to you or as beloved to you as your fathers, your sons, your brothers, or a little more. So whatever it is, I just get confused in this, right? I didn't give another translation. Dearer to you than your, meaning beloved to you, than Allah. So Allah should be first, and His Messenger, and striving in His way. All three of them on one footing. How can you make a difference? How can, like Allah, His Messenger, and striving in His way? Then await till Allah comes up with His command. And Allah does not guide the immoral people. Immoral. Or fasiqeen, or what is it? Disobedient. So it's so stern. So terribly harsh. And so unfair and unjust to the polytheists. Yet there are some who take others as equals to Allah and love them as equals with Allah or besides Allah, with Allah, and love them. So if they take equals with Allah or to Allah, they should love Allah also as much as they love them. So I think the polytheists have a lot of love, even though they love some things equal to Allah, yet they have this tolerance I could see, giving water to the pilgrims and all this. And this one doesn't, because it's severing ties, it's all this. And here you see how you have been deceived in some of the ayats which I never showed you before in the previous live streams. Like He loves those whom He loves, they're misguided, but But even though he loves them, his love cannot guide them. That's a sham. I showed you, right? Hope you get it and do your research. See for yourself again. Thank you so much. Prabhu Deva, thank you for being here. Thank you for this. Abraham, he says, broke 360 idols in Kaaba. The polytheists have given water to the pilgrims. Right? Yet Allah does not make it equal to, what is this? This is humane, this is kindness. So, however, you see this Prabhu Deva? Surah 9, Ayat 19. Do you consider providing water to the pilgrims? This is about the polytheists. And tending the sacred mosque. When they're taking care of the sacred mosque, they're giving water to the pilgrims. Allah is saying it's not equal in worth. Now this will be taken all away. They are najis, they are, and kill them. Or give them time that they leave Kaaba. They're not supposed to maintain. And how can the polytheists maintain the house of God? Read the rest of the Surah Tawbah ayats on this. How can the polytheists, when they've chosen disbelief or something like this, a lie? You see, the Muslims say it is, and because the ayats say it is a lie. These are false gods. Why are they worshipping false gods? Break these idols. These are false. They cannot even talk. Even your Allah cannot talk. Even their Allah cannot talk. Muslim God, Islamic God. But they found out who is Abraham. They found out who broke these 360 idols in the Kaaba. And it's okay, sticking to the Quran ayats, but I don't think Abraham was in the Kaaba. I don't even think Kaaba was... there's Islamic history that somehow Kaaba was made by Ismail and Abraham. Abraham and Ismail, his son. So we don't even know how many Kaabas. There's a person who has done research on this, that the real Kaaba is not in Makkah. It's in Petra. Right, and all that. So, do you get it? Hope you get it. And that's why we ex-Muslims should talk against Islam. Because as you are made to believe, as I, as a Shia, was made to believe, that Imam Hussein stood for humanity, thus Islam stood for humanity, to save humanity. It is wrong. It is a deception, deep deception. So that's why when you find that out, when I combed through the ayats and found and saw between the lines that there is a lot of deception, this was a very clever, cunning, sagacious man, Prophet Muhammad, and a killer, mass murderer, and a warmonger. And this Allah is very possessive and all this. Why wouldn't he accept in humanity when he calls for humanity, appeals to humankind? However he may be worshipped, whether a stone can take you or a beloved's face can take you to Allah, Saadi has said, who has said, do not turn your face from your earthly beloved, for even that can take you to God. Rumi has said it. I don't think Hafiz has said it. I think Saadi most probably has said it. If I'm wrong, I'm I stand corrected. Do not turn your face from your earthly beloved. That is humanity and love above all for you. So religion should have been love, humanity. Not believing in one Allah and Supreme Creator, that's the haq. And I also showed you how there could be many gods and in harmony. And the reasons Allah has given in the Quran ayahs, like if there were many gods, there would be chaos or disharmony, and the gods would be wanting to go to the Lord, get to the Lord of the throne. Why not? And there is one with the Lord of the throne, secure. Right? He's the Messenger Kareem. And Surah Takwir, we are told, ayahs 20 to 21. And, 19, 20, and 21 says, obeyed. So it shouldn't matter to God. Like, he has nothing to fear that they will reach the Lord of the throne. Not even his throne, if there were many gods. And why can't gods, like God, you can't see me? Because, Moses, tell your people, look at the mountain. Mountain broke into pieces. Why can't Allah be in small things? In the grass, blade of grass, in small things, creatures. No, I'm that energy, I'm beyond energy. No. I wouldn't agree to that. So I have my reasons for that, and I'll give it later on. Right? That is, you can't see the sun, right? The sun is, so that's how, we were explained, or I would explain myself, that Allah is true. Allah is the light of this world and all this. His light is in this, and he's giving parables, metaphors. But Allah is the light, right? Yet we say, no. The Shia say Allah is beyond anything. Yes, Allah is the light, but this light beyond. You don't know where Allah is, what Allah is, in what respect Allah is. Surah Mashlul ayat. Verse. Not ayat. It's a dua from the Shias. Dua Mashlul. It's not Surah Mashlul. Sorry, I just not that alert now. It's Dua Mashlul, a verse. None knows what Allah is, in what respect He is, who He is, how He is. But yet, Dua. So this, it doesn't make sense to me, sorry. Right now, I think I've previously given an answer for this. Like going through the Quran ayahs, like not in my contemplation and how I think about it. Maybe that too, but later on. And Dua Mashlul. But mostly from sticking to the Quran ayahs, Mashlul. So that first you Muslims get it for sure. No. Let me show you Dua Hijab, where Allah says, how did the messenger, so I'm looking at this, fill the sun with rain, and then what, I beseech you in the name. Okay, it says name, your transcendental wisdom, together. I think it's, I beseech you in the name. Okay, your name. It's just a name, it's an attribute, by which you partition the eyebrows of the eyes of onlookers, to open the eyes and see. See what? And by which you let your wisdom operate. Okay. See what? See you? So I'm thinking, oh my God, how did they see Allah? I got it wrong. and the proofs with which your prophets made known the truth, whose minds and hearts were aware of your being. How were they aware of Allah's being? While you are hidden in the secret stations of the innermost seclusion. So shouldn't the prophets show you this? How they were aware of God's being? Let me show you. Come, let me show you how we are aware of God's being. Instead of these Quran ayats coming loud, too much. So I was like, I beseech you in the name of your name, by which you partition the eyebrows of the eyes of the onlookers, and by which you let your wisdom operate. Something to open the eyes and see what? And see what? We can't see God, right? I thought here, oh my God, we could see God somehow. But there's proof of something of God. Maybe you should go to Shiva, the third eye of Shiva. Or go to the Hindus to see God. Onlookers. Partition the eyebrows of the eyes of... to see what? And by which you let your wisdom operate here, in between. And the proofs with which... What proofs? With which your prophets made known the truth, whose minds and hearts were aware of your being. Imam Ali says, all minds put together cannot know God. How can the prophets be aware of his being? Allah's being. Oh, what's Allah's being? Being aware of Allah's being. Please tell me. But when Muji Baba went, Muji Ji, because the Hindus say you have to do worship, rituals and all this, so Vishwa nights and all. Muji Baba really tore apart all the 7 veils that Allah is hidden in. While you are hidden in the secret stations of the innermost seclusion. Why don't they want you to know? Just make your minds and hearts be aware of His being, like they have been. This is our Shia dua hijab. Sayyid ibn Taus in Mahajul Dawat writes many merits of this dua. If this dua is recited for a person in trance or unconsciousness or temporary insanity, he or she shall become normal. It is also recited to make a woman give birth to a living child, if there were several miscarriages and complications. To seek forgiveness of sins and to get enough sustenance, recite the dua on 40 consecutive Fridays after sunset. Okay? Oh God. Oh, He who is beyond the visual range of creative beings. But my Imam Ali has said, I see him through the heart, right? So please show us. I used to beseech Imam Ali, Allah and all, but I couldn't see him. I had no connection with Allah. I was still going through madness and all this. Oh my God, the things. In year 2000, it started. Okay. Prabhuji, thank you for being here. Any other question, any other thing, statement you would like to add here? Yeah, that's in the Quran ayat, that Abraham left one idol, the chief idol, and put his axe on the idol's shoulders. Abraham broke through in the Kaaba, but we don't know. Yeah, the Quran ayat doesn't say 360, does it? But it's like Kaaba was made by Abraham and Ishmael. But that's the proof the Muslims take from the Quran, right? They do research. Oh, but there's a Kaaba. You see, there was a Kaaba. So we just followed. And there's Imam Hussein's, if like even this man who did the research, the Qibla and all this, like I was saying, no, no, no. We have our 12 Imams, we have their graves, tombs, and mausoleums. In Iraq, we have Imam Hussein. In Qazmain, we have Imam Musa Qazims. I mean, you can't tell us that this Kaaba is not true. Like that, right? So all this complications and belief. But now tables have turned on me. I'm an ex-Shia, ex-Muslim. Okay, thank you very much. Anything? Anyone? Any questions? Let me know. Please first do your research. Go and please go through this. Go through this the way I've shown you. Guidelines. This is just, and question your heart tonight again. There's a poem, Question Your Heart, I found in a magazine, sorry, I don't know by whom. I wrote down in my diary. Question your heart tonight. See how true your prophet was to you. I found him a terrible liar, a deceiver, such a deep deceiver, and thus his progeny also that I loved and believed in. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, beautiful day, Prabhu Deva. God bless you and your country and your people and your loved ones and your family much always. I wish for you the best, all of you the best. So please, this is not the best. So leave this. Once you find out, you will definitely leave it. The way I've shown you. Thank you so much.